Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kaz and I'm an intuitive and a healer. In today's reading, we're going to look at where in the world would like your energy. You may already be drawn to somewhere in the world that would like your energy. You may have an inkling or you may have no idea whatsoever. So we've got 3 piles to choose from today. We've got pile 1 with Mookaite, Purpurite and blue Calcite. Pile 2 with Nummite, Celestite and Prehnite, and pile 3 with Opalite, Tiger's Eye and orange Calcite. What we're going to do is we're going to use this giant atlas and I'm going to throw the stones on a map of the world, and where they land I'm then going to look a bit closer at that area and throw a crystal again to see where it lands. We may get some channeled messages as well, and what I would like you to do is choose your pile and we'll go from there. I'll see you in your reading. Welcome Group 1 to your reading. As you can see before you, we've got a map of the world. This may be a little outdated. This atlas is about 20 years old, but we get the general area of where we're going to go. I'm going to cast the crystals and see where they land, and then we'll go to a closer map to see if we can zero in on somewhere a little bit more specific for you. You may already have an idea of where you're being drawn to, and that's great, and we'll see if we can add to that knowledge for you. Okay, pile 1, I'm just going to throw your crystals now. Okay. So we've got North Africa and possibly part of the Mediterranean. We've got USA, Hawaii, and the Pacific Ocean, Polynesia. So we'll go and look at those closer maps and we'll see what we can find out for you. Okay, Group 1, we're going to throw your stone again and just see where it lands. There are quite a few islands here in Polynesia, and they are governed by different countries. So we'll just see what we come up with. Okay, so we've got the Pitcairn Islands. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing that correctly. All right, let's just see if I can get any information about this place. All right, so I'm feeling that this is a very calm space. Your energy is needed here just to help settle some ancient karma that's in that area, but it will also calm your energy too. And whoever you go with, whoever your travelling companions are, who you choose to go on this trip, if you choose to take anyone, it'll greatly benefit them. What I'm also seeing is that if you take a jar or container and just take a little bit of the sand and take it home with you, it'll be really calming in your workspace or in your home space. So wherever there's a little bit of unsettled energy, it'll be great for you to take that back home with you. It may be somewhere that you would like to move to once you actually see it. So that's something to consider as well. And I'm really feeling happy with what I'm saying there. So it may be somewhere that really your soul is really, really longing for and drawn to. All right, we would throw the next one. Okay, Group 1, here we have a little map of Hawaii. I'm just going to throw the crystal again to look at maybe which island it lands near, to narrow down the field of where your energy wants to be. So it landed on Oahu, which has the capital of Honolulu on it. So it's a more populated island. You may have been there for holiday or wanting to go there for holiday, and this is an indication that that would be a really good thing for you to do. Yes, so what I'm hearing here is there have been volcanic eruptions in the past, and there may be some more in the future in that area. Your energy is required to settle some of that seismic activity. You have a very calming presence and a calming energy, and that's what's needed in this space, in this time. So if you've always been drawn to Hawaii, this may be something that you would like to go and do to assist with the energy in that space. There is also a past life connection to this place, and you may have been drawn to it before. I'm seeing more mountainous areas. I don't know that island at all, but I'm sure that there is some mountainous areas, and your energy is required there. I'm seeing more inland than on the coast. And it may be that you take a day trip out there if you decide to go. Your angels are saying you also, part of the choice for this place is that you do need a time of relaxation. You have been going for a long time without a holiday, and they would like you to take some time for yourself to rejuvenate and relax. Okay, group 1, that's that crystal, the Jasper. We'll look at the other crystals next. Okay, group 1, we've got the blue calcite here. I'm going to try and throw it on this area here because this is where it landed when we originally threw it, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so we've landed right on the tip of the Atlas Mountains, and also near Tunis, Malta and Sicily, and very close to Tripoli as well. So I understand that this area is part of Algeria. So you might have ancestors that came from that area, or you may have had family more recently that's come from that area, including, this area of the Mediterranean too, which I feel is more Sicily and Malta than anything else there. So what I'm hearing here is a return to roots. So you may actually know that you have family here rather than this being a past life connection. It may have been that, it might have been a couple of generations back where your family lived there. And it's like a reconnection to that family DNA, that family story that happened in this area. You may have already been to this area before, but you do feel a strong pull to go back. And if you already live in the area, it's saying that you are in the right place where you're meant to be at the moment, because your energy is really required there. And this is to do with your family DNA, your family lineage, and there may be something there that just needs to be sorted out from the past that you're not even aware of. But just being in that space and in that area helps remove this karma from your family DNA, your family line. And it may be a pattern of behaviour that's carried on through the DNA that you're just not aware of, or that you think it's only you that have it, when if you explore deeper you would find that other members of your family struggle with whatever it is. So I'm seeing a clear decision to go to this area and just experience it. And if you're not already living there, it may only be that you need to be there for a week or two before that energy is cleared for you. Yeah, I'm getting a sense of finality with it. So it's like, right, this is done, great, we can move on with our lives here. So, group 1, there are 3 suggestions of places that you can go in the world that would really want your energy. So you can choose any of them or all of them if you like. Thanks for viewing today. If you would like more of this content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Welcome group 2 to your reading. I'm going to cast the stones, and we're going to look at the areas where they land in a little bit more finer detail, and I may channel some messages at the same time. Okay, I'm going to throw this one again because it didn't really land on anything. Okay, so we've got Southern Africa here, we've got Northern Africa here, and we have Japan as well. So I'm going to look at those in a little bit further detail, and we can explore those areas. Okay, group 2. I'm going to actually move this crystal around the area. What I actually felt when I threw it was that the area was Nambia, the area was Namibia. I apologise if I pronounced that incorrectly. But because if I throw it, it's just such a smaller area on the page, I might actually miss Namibia. So I'm going to move the crystal around until I feel an area that it resonates in. So we'll start with the coast. All right, I'm getting a deep feeling of this area. So this is around, oh goodness me, Walvis Bay, Pelican Point. I'm just going to go inland a little bit. Yeah, coming close to Windhoek. That area there. All right, I'm just going to, yeah, it's definitely around this area here. I'm just going to check the other areas. No, it wants to come back to here. Okay, so let's see what messages we can get there. Yeah, there's a very ancient connection here. This isn't something in living memory. I feel that it's a long, long way back, and it may have even been a past life that you lived in this area. And there was something lost in that space, not physically, but it might have been emotionally or spiritually. And it's like you need to reclaim whatever was lost. I'm getting a lot of heat around this, so I'm not quite sure why I feel so warm, but maybe it's a very warm place. There was something lost in this lifetime that just needs to be found again. And it may not be something that you might visit the area and think, oh, well, you know, that was a nice visit, and not really be aware that it has had such a profound effect on you, because it's almost like a soul gathering of something that was lost, and it was like a soul fracture that's just being repaired. And it might be such a subtle thing that you don't fully realise what's happening. For others of you, it may actually be really poignant. You might get quite emotional in this space, or you might just feel a real recognition of the place, even if you've never been there before. If you live in this area, I'm feeling that you're drawn to that area for a reason, and that your soul will be quite happy there for 5 to 10 years, and then you might want to move on because the repair has happened. Okay, we'll move on to the next crystal now. Okay, group 2, the Nummite landed on North Africa in the area of Algeria. So I'm going to throw the stone again and see if we can get a closer area. Okay, so we've ended up near, the mountains here by the look of this. I don't know this area at all, but it looks like it's southern Algeria, towards the south anyway, near the border of Mali and Niger. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can get any messages for you here. Okay, I feel that there's some strong family influences here, so it may have been like 3 or 4 or more generations back that you had an ancestor go here or originate from here, and they migrated elsewhere. They may not have gone of their free choice and left the lands of their free choice. And your energy is needed there just to heal this wound and heal this pain. It might not be something that you really know about your family. This may be a hidden part of the family that wasn't talked about, or the story just wasn't passed on. If you already originate from this area, it may mean that there is just some family wounds that need to be healed around being forcibly removed from home and taken elsewhere. Yeah, I'm getting the energy around this was... it was quite frightening, and it was just like they were more or less snatched out of their home and taken to a place that was completely foreign to them, a much colder climate than what they were used to. And that rift in the family DNA just needs to be healed, and your presence in that area will just help with that. You may have already visited this area and had quite an experience, and you weren't sure what was happening, but just please be assured that this was meant to be, and whatever you experienced had a purging and healing effect on the family line. All right, we'll move on to the next stone. Okay, group 2. Your third crystal was the Prehnite, and it landed on Japan. We're going to cast the stone again to see if we can get a narrowed down area of Japan. All right, group 2, I'm going to hover the crystal over the areas of Japan and feel where it's drawn to. So I'm just going to run the crystal over and just see what area it wants to go to. Okay, so we've got here, it's close to Wakayama, Saikai, Osaka Bay. Now, I may not have pronounced those names correctly, and if I haven't, I apologise. And I'm just going to channel some of that energy through. So you may already live in those areas, or it may be that you've visited those areas before, or that you're really drawn to go there. If you're drawn to Japan, you might like to focus on that area around here. There's a little bay here as well. This map isn't very detailed, so I can't give you any more information than that. For some of you, you may have had, there may be some wartime connection with this area. It may have been that one of your ancestors, particularly on your father's line, may have had something to do with this area, or was maybe even held prisoner of war by someone from that area. But they actually developed, it's almost like the prisoners became friends with the captors in some way, or in this one particular case. There may be a verbal or written history about this, or there may not be. It may be something you're vaguely aware that one of your relatives was in World War II and saw action in this area. I'm getting specifically World War II. For others of you, it may be that you had a lifetime in this area where you were basically some sort of captive in some way or another. And I'm getting particularly a female who had very little freedom in life and was there to serve. And so that just needs to be healed this lifetime. So a visit to that area, or if you don't already live in the area, will help mend or heal that energy from that lifetime, or heal that family DNA that just needs to be repaired. I just want to explain a little bit more about this, because sometimes family trauma can hang around, and it gets if it's not healed by one generation, then it gets passed to the next generation. And when it's healed, it actually benefits the generations that come after the healing. It also benefits the generations that are in that line of healing to each side. So it might be cousins or siblings. And it also heals the generations above you, so it might be your parents and grandparents too. And if any of those people have actually crossed over, it still helps them on their soul journey and helps heal them too. There's a lot of healing at the moment that's required along family lines, and you may have chosen to come in to do this for your family. It is a big job, and I acknowledge that and appreciate that about you. So if you're drawn to this area, and particularly drawn to this crystal, you'll be healing the family line and DNA. Okay, group 2. I hope you were drawn to some of those areas. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Welcome group 3 to your reading. I'm going to take the stones and I'm going to cast them across the world map and see where they land. If they roll off, I'll cast them again. And we will then zoom into those areas and get some more information and maybe a closer location for you. Okay, I'm going to roll this one again. Okay, so we have South America, particularly Brazil. We have Southern Africa on the Opalite, and we have what looks like the Bay of Bengal, but I'll try to narrow that down a little bit for you when we go to those pages. Group 3. We're going to have a little closer look at this area of South America that we threw the stone around. It may not necessarily be Brazil, as I earlier stated, but we'll just have a look. Okay, so we've got the area of Ceara, it's called, I think, C-E-A-R-A, Ceara. There's also Natal, Recife, and I may be completely pronouncing these words wrong, but this area here, which is on the east coast of South America, so the most eastern part of South America here. All right, so let's just see what messages we get for this area. Okay, so what I'm getting is that some of you may have spent past lives in the area as farmers or peasants, and you, in this lifetime, you may still be in that area as a farmer or a peasant, but for some of you, you are a lot more affluent in this lifetime, and it's almost like you're drawn back to those roots just so that you remember and to ground the energy of materialism. Just to remember how hungry you were or how hard you had to struggle just to keep yourself ticking over financially and to feed your family and to have shelter over your head. And it may also be an area that you'd like to go and do some charity work in. There may be some connections there that you'd like to do. And that's more of a recognition of how fortunate you are in this lifetime. And it may not be that you're super wealthy by global standards, but it might be that you're really appreciative of what you have and you want to give to those who are less fortunate. And this is almost healing that cycle of poverty and pain that you have experienced in the past. Because what I'm seeing is like a wheel where sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down. And there have been times in other lifetimes where you have been extremely poor, but it's like your soul has learned how to use universal energy to pull yourself out of that, and that's happened over quite a few lifetimes. But this place is particularly poignant because maybe you died of starvation, or maybe some of your family died of starvation because you couldn't provide for them. So it's like you'd like to give something back to the area because of the karma in the earth in that area. So this message might be for you, it might not. You might want to look at one of the other stones to see if another message is more relevant for you. Right, let's cast the next one. Okay, group 3, we'll just work with the next crystal, which landed in southern Africa. And interestingly enough, group 2 got a very similar area to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see where the stone's pulling me, because if I throw it, it'll probably end up elsewhere. I'm heading more towards Angola, but on the border with Namibia, but on the coast side here. So this area we have Namibi or Namib. We have Ponta Albania, Fosdi Canini. I apologise because I'm probably not saying any of these correctly, but this is the area that I'm pulled to here. All right. Lubango is another one that I'm getting there. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. All right. Let's bring this this close here so you can see it in focus. Alright. I'm getting that this again is a past life connection, and you had quite an easy life here. It might have been that you were wealthy and you had servants and you had quite an easy, relaxing life. There wasn't too much that stressed you. And so you may be drawn to that area just out of reminiscence and that energy of I was comfortable and I was settled and I was content with my life, which may be different to what you feel now, or it may actually be very similar to what you feel now in life. If it's different, it's just drawing you there to actually balance the energy of you recognizing what you do have and feeling content with it, because that then draws in more of the same. If you're content this lifetime, it's almost like a pairing of energy and getting yourself back to that place where, yes, I recognise this because I felt very content here as well. If you're from this area and you don't feel content and you don't feel that you have everything you need, it's just, what I'm feeling is that energy will soon be balanced out. So there's something coming in to pull you out of the scarcity cycle. And that will be, I'm hearing 8 months, in 8 months' time, if you live in that area. Okay, group 3, we'll move on to the next one. Group 3, instead of throwing the stone in this one, I'm actually going to draw it along where I feel it might go, and just feel where it pulls me. So I'm just going to start in this area here because that's where it originally fell. Okay. All right, I'm feeling it's either in Pakistan or just on the border of Pakistan and India. So we've got Karachi in this area. We have Jamnagar, Porbandar, mouths of the Indus. So in this area here, so it might be that you already live here, or that your ancestors are from this area, or that you're drawn to go and visit here. For some of you, this may be a deeply religious draw that you've got to this area. It may be that you come from here, or that your family has come from here. I feel that it's a more recent connection that you've got to this area. It may be that someone who married into the family, or maybe your partner is from this area and you'd like to go and visit and see what they experienced as children. I feel that you're very interested in, if this is a case of you and a partner, I feel that you're a lot more interested in this than they are, and you see them as a bit of a puzzle that needs to be solved. And you would see it as an adventure, and they might see it with foreboding because they might not want to go and revisit that energy. But it would be very healing for both of you, and there would be a sharing time if that was the case. For others of you, I feel that you're being drawn there for work, and that your energy is more on the material plane rather than the more spiritual plane, and it's just that you have certain skills that can be used in this area. There are a few of you that may have had past lives here, but not too far back, so it may have been 1 or 2 past lives, and you're just going back to revisit and just claim some of your energy that was, what I'm hearing is stolen during that time, and it is sort of anchored in the land there. This may or may not resonate with you. It may be why you might feel more resonance with that area than maybe the other 2 areas that we've talked about today. Your angels say that for who this pertains to, you will get a very clear message about visiting the area. There may be some parts that you can't access for whatever reason, but they will draw you close enough that you can draw from the earth what you need. And it may be just such a subtle energy that you don't notice anything. But when you return home, if this is a visit for you, there will be some things that are slightly changed in your life. There'll be like a slightly different perspective on things, and you'll look at things a little bit differently than you have in the past. Okay, group 3. I hope that some of those areas resonated for you. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. So this is a picture of the atlas I used. If you'd like more details, I've listed it in the description.